what we're doing here, what we do every week. For those of you who have been here multiple times, it's not new ground, but 1 Million Cups group organization founded out of the Kauffman Foundation in Kansas City. It's about 13 to 14 years old now. They have 110 different communities of 5 to 10 volunteers that get together and put on these presentations every Wednesday. We put on 2 presentations. Today we'll have one. It's a little bit of a unique format, but it will follow the same format as 1 Million Cups. 2 presenters come up, they tell their story. The theme isn't, I want to sell and get signups today. It's more around, here's what I'm working on, what inspired me to get started, what's working, what's not, and where they're stuck. And that's really the most unique thing about 1 Million Cups, because we spend a lot of time talking about where we're stuck and how to get unstuck. The theme of 1 Million Cups is for us as an audience to say, what can we as a community do for you? And this is the most powerful thing we can do in a networking event, is try to figure out how to help other people solve their problems or learn something new. So Quinn's gonna come up, he's gonna tell us his story, and at the end when we say, what can we do for you, or if he says in his slide, I already have an ask, we're gonna think through. Some of you might have experienced like the same problem. You're like, oh, I've gone through this before, or like, oh, my last company, or like right now we're doing this. Or you might be experiencing the problem and you'll benefit from somebody else in the audience who has something to say about it. So that's it. It's always a good vibe, good energy. Please feel free to, say what's on your mind, relevant to the presentation. It is very common. Somebody goes through 7 slides, talks about their business, says, I really need help here. And we say, well, I have questions over there. That's also wonderful. And just like a lot of good things happen when we go off script, but we also have to follow a program. So try to keep your questions or comments limited to what the person's talking about or where they need the most help. But then afterwards, stick around, meet somebody new, have more coffee. We'll talk about that in a second. But then you could always ask them, hey, I was wondering if I could ask you some specific questions about the business that aren't entirely relevant to your ask, but things that may help evolve a more interesting conversation. So a couple of thank yous. We want to thank Team Working by TechNexus. They give us this space. It's all, yeah. That is like the most enthusiasm we've shown them. So I'm glad it's being recorded. But it's great. Like we have the room. This isn't anybody's day job. Oh, sorry, USA Today. So I didn't wear my 1MC shirt because who's watching the World Cup? Come on, raise your hands. 48 teams. Whose country is represented? Not the United States. Mexico is represented. You're Mexican. Mexican American, Dan? Okay. Anybody else from another country who's in the World Cup? Okay. Sometimes we get like 3 or 4 countries like on a Wednesday. So I wore my USA shirt because I'm excited. It's the best the USA's done pretty much ever. If you watched Mexico last night, it was really the most impressive they've played, I think, in like 30 years. It was awesome. And they have the youngest player, I think, in the game, in the cup. He's 17 in like a few hundred days, so he beats Pele. So really relevant to what we're here to talk about at 1 Million Cups. So I think it's important that we take these moments and we talk about football. So we want to thank Team Working. They give us the space. And we have coffee from U3, and U3 is amazing. They put together this great roastery and this great community coffee place out in the suburbs just west of Chicago, and they never provide something to put in the milk. They're like, our coffee is amazing. You don't have, actually put anything in the coffee. They never provide any creamers or milk or anything because their coffee is so great it doesn't need it. But a lot of us put something in our coffee, so we provide it ourselves. And today's was provided by Crystal and her company, the In Good Company that provides operations consulting. So I want to thank Crystal and In Good Company and you 3. I wasn't here last week, so I'm rusty. I'm just shaking the kinks out. I appreciate you guys being a supportive audience. I'm going to go ahead and get the show started. Can we give a standing ovation for Corinne as he comes up and presents? All right, so you get this. Pointing down will advance the slides, and it's natural to point to the TV, but you're really pointing here. And then if you need me to move a slide because the monitor breaks it up, you let me know and we'll move stuff around. All right. Okay, 6 minutes, go.
I'm excited to talk about Vicinity, multi-group chat, IRL. It's a spatial communication protocol for the smartphone. The idea is to be connected to everyone around you in real time. No followers, no algorithms. It's local and live. I have this visualization here to show how the technology actually works. Every time you send a message, like putting a raindrop on body water, the ripples go out, you might get a ping, depending on your radius. So choose your radius, and you're connected to everyone around. I had the idea when I was sitting in an airport, looking at everybody on their phones. I was like, why do all of us have these devices, and yet there's no way for me to communicate with everyone around? It's kind of ridiculous. The reason I work on this is because technology is connecting us, but we're lonelier than ever. So the way I see it, we already live in the metaverse. 2/3 of our waking lives are going to be spent looking at a screen. And the average Gen Z is projected to spend about 100,000 hours on social media over their lifetime. 100,000 hours. That's about like a working career, 48 years. That's really where we're at right now. It's kind of scary. But the way I see it is that, like, if we're already in the metaverse, and I don't know if anyone has played like World of Warcraft or RuneScape, but there's a chat room for the server that you're in. Always. You can talk to the players in your server. The way I see it, like, the screen is the server, Vicinity is that chat. So you can just communicate with everyone around. It's a very empowering idea. So, you know, obviously loneliness is a global problem. 1 in 6 people are, you know, very lonely. It's a health issue. It's like smoking cigarettes. 47% of Americans are in a house of worship. It used to be 70 in the 90s. So people are just getting together less in a lot of ways. And social trust is down. Like the social fabric has really disintegrated in a meaningful way. I'm sure you guys feel it. It used to be 46%. I'm sure a lot of you guys don't know your neighbors. And that's just how it is. You know? We'd rather just sit on Instagram. But I think this desire is already here. You know, like one of the first instincts I get when I talk to people about Vicinity, they're like, why would I want to be connected to the people around me? It's kind of a gut instinct. That's really sad when you think about it. But when the Knicks win the championships, people are kissing each other in the street, strangers. You know, like this desire doesn't go away. You know, a lot of people are like, when their team wins, it's not necessarily because the team won that it was such a great day, but like they live for the, you know, for a brief time, there was a genuine sense of community. I think we just need that kind of permission. And so that's what I'm trying to build with Vicinity. It's like a real-time sense of presence with the people around you. You know, that feeling that you get at a concert where you're like, all right, we're all together here. And that's why I made it as a chat room. It has to be live, or else you're not going to get that sense of presence. So in terms of the business model, it's free. So the Vicinity chat is free. You can DM people for free up to a limit of like 10 contacts. And then premium adds some gates to a lot of the different features that I've added. So for example, like photos and DMs. One of the things I really focus on, what I've learned talking with users and seeing how people use it, is safety. It's the most important thing overall, of course. And so I gate like photos and DMs with a paywall so that, you know, you have some stake in this community if you're going to send someone a photo, because sending random people photos can go wrong. So, but one of the things I've also seen is that everything really scales with users. So like engagement time, attention, it just scales with users, especially with like density. So like if I look at a specific place, there's a lot of users in that place. You know, my week 1 retention is a lot higher than what it would be if it was thinner. So everything really just scales with you. So, you know, I wanted to solve the problem I had. I just moved to Chicago about a year ago. So I put these ads in the CTA. I was like, hey, you know, please talk to the people around you. And I got a lot of 5-star Apple reviews. Android didn't fare so well. I took some bad bills. It happens. But people use it every day here in Chicago. And, you know, one of the things, like, entrepreneurs talk about is just talk to your users. The great thing about Vicinity is that it's a chat app. So I've literally been talking to my users this whole time. Hundreds of people have talked about Vicinity in Chicago. So I've added a ton of features since then, like, I don't know, user at mentions, threaded replies, tons of stuff. Like all the things that I've wanted in Vicinity, now that AI has come out, have been added. So I have these like location-based rooms. So it's kind of like a Discord for a place. It's like an audio room and a chat room. So like, you know, ideally, like if you're at a World Cup match, you can join, and like there's like an audio room for that stadium. It'd be pretty fun. Stuff like that. So Vicinity is already used all over the globe. Every dot you see on this map is just like a message that gets sent. So not necessarily users. This slide's also a little outdated. I've been running some like distribution campaigns, data acquisition on like TikTok and Instagram. So we got 21K users now and like 3.5K monthly actives. Revenue's gone up a little bit, but it does make money. We have a small amount right here, right now, but that's like 19K. You know, that's like nothing for a social app. So I think we really just need more people to use it. The hardest mode, honestly, is like cultural. You know, one of the things that I saw when someone came in was that one of their messages was, "Is this even a thing?" And so there comes with this like cultural acceptance. Like, I'm not going to use something that no one else uses, and so I think that just scales with users. It's like it's a new idea. Like, what do you do when you communicate with everyone around you? You know, it's kind of like I don't know. It's like a new social primary technology, and it's AI proof. Like, I see people come in and they'll just like ask. It's natural. Like, I want to ask a human a question. Sometimes I don't want to ask AI. You know, sometimes I just want to talk to someone. And then the other thing too is that network effects. I like to say there can only be one vicinity chat, and the network itself I think is a moat because, you know, like I mentioned before with safety, I really have to thread this needle between safety and identity because you can't be entirely anonymous or else you'll run into moderation issues. People are just nasty to each other. So you have to have some kind of identity, but you can't have your whole name out there because it's location based, right? So there's a needle to thread, and that identity graph becomes a mode itself. So we already have like global demand. Now I just need distribution. Like I say, we haven't really seen this baby rip. I really want to see what would happen if we got 100,000 to 1 million people on vicinity chat and it compounds. So there's some kind of critical mass. I like to say over a long period of time, any amount of retention will compound on itself. That's just how the math goes. So and spatial communication is like it's a new category, you know. So explaining the idea, getting people used to it, you know, that's a whole cultural shift. So I've done this entirely on my own at this point. It's been a solo project. Did all the engineering, made the ads. I mean, obviously, I hired some people to like do design and stuff. That's like a skill set I don't have, but I'm pretty good at engineer at this point to build vicinity chat. But I think I need some help at this point. Doing it by myself, I'm kind of tired. So I'd love some feedback, maybe some intros to people who know how to distribute, and maybe some distribution. So if you want to connect with me, you can email contact@vicinityApp.com, or you can just download Vicinity and DM me. My name is Quinn on Vicinity. So thanks.
That was awesome. I understand somebody comes on board, they bring other people, and then there's a network effect. That's the compounding. You know, you need somebody to chat with, so maybe tell your friends that they have that where they are, where you and more people join and more people join. But what have you done to kind of get more critical mass?
I've experimented with different distribution techniques. So like,
No, tell them.
I'll tell you guys.
Amazing.
So I've done like Google Play ads on Google Ads. So I have a history of working in digital advertising, so I do have experience there in running digital ad campaigns. One of the things I've learned from running digital ads is that there's a lot of bot traffic. Paying for fake stuff, which I don't really like, especially around the world. Which is why one of the reasons I did the CTA ads, like the IRL stuff. It's like, okay, that is guaranteed human traffic around me. Like I know what I'm paying for. And then now I'm doing some like TikTok, Instagram, short form stuff. That was like the last option I wanted to try because I disagree with the premise of it. You know, like I don't like short form. So but it was like, well, that's how apps scale nowadays. If you look at, for example, like another successful social app, Nomad Table, that's how they do it, or other, pretty much any other app right now scales through TikTok and Instagram. So that's just kind of what you have to do.
Can you tell me more how this works? So if Stuart were to download the app at a bus stop, I imagine save one or something, we both download it. What happens next?
So you go through onboarding, you'll get a username, you can put in your bio, and then you select your radius. So the radius is between 1 and 50 miles.
Of your location or wherever?
Around, yes, around your location.
Okay.
So, and then the way the technology works is, like you saw there, every message has like a geopin associated with it. And so it'll load all the messages that have been inside that radius. And then on top of that, it'll connect you live to like a live listener that is like listening for messages that get dropped into that radius. So it's like a hybrid kind of architecture.
From a distribution perspective, it seems like IRL is what people love to do or stuff to me. It seems like events, live events, like concerts, you're at a conference, and even the Loop in Chicago, right? Talk to fellow business people. Have you considered like that kind of IRL aspect?
Yes, absolutely. I think that'd be a great idea, especially like an exclusive event where like you only know the location on Vicinity. So one of the features I added was like a map. I always wanted to have a map on Vicinity. So if you download it now, you go to the nearby page, there's chat rooms, and then there's an event system. So you can create an event, and then like you can name it whatever you want, and then it'll create a group chat for that event. So like say if you wanted to go kayaking on the river, you could just be like, hey, come kayaking with me, and like create an event in like in 3 hours, and then it'll create a group chat, and then it'll be public on the nearby screen. Anyone can join that group chat and then see what's going on for that event. But yeah, like IRL concerts, any place where humans gather, I think would be a good thing.
It seems like there'd be a good guerrilla marketing opportunity.
Yeah.
That's cool. Well, I feel like to that point, Circuit Chicago is coming up very, very soon, and there's always like there's some really big events where sometimes you show up and it's like, who should I talk to here? And if you know, there's a sort of not in that event of like, even if it's just like talking about who's been nesting out today, like you're doing Chicago Demo Day, for example, and like I can imagine sitting in the audience being like, oh, this is really cool. I wonder if you thought about this, and like just like getting into that. So it's probably a little late to partner with some of those.
Right, yeah. Do you have a sense of any type of patterns within the audience you've already attracted? Is it all Gen Z? Like, do you know anything about the people who are in it today?
From what I gathered, all the people that I've talked to, is like, you know, I don't collect that kind of demographic information, but like what I've gathered is that it's all ages. It's all ages and demographics, like a lot of different people.
Super helpful.
I've met a lot of different people through Vicinity. Like I've made real friends like on Vicinity chat. It's fun. But it's all kinds of different people. Huh? Can do a survey. Can send them an email.
Yeah. I think 2 questions to get, I guess, better context about your ask. One is, how long have you been building Vicinity? So like when you give these numbers, like what is the time scale of this developer?
Oh yeah. So
3 days.
I reset the back end last year. So like this is of last year around this time. I'd say like July, August last year. But I have actually been working on Vicinity since like 2021. It started out like as like a college project, and I've rebuilt it now 3 times with like different architectures. You know,
Or more in a sense, with the users that you currently have, like how long has this been like a public thing that people have been joining?
Since 2021. Like I released it in 2021. The first version, like 1.0, didn't work.
Okay.
2.0 works a little bit better, but
Yeah.
you know, one of the things too is that I watched how people use it, and you know, on 2.0, people were using it for like bad things. So this is when I realized like you really need some insane, like a really strong moderation structure. I'm like, okay, it would be irresponsible of me to scale this without moderation.
So when did V2 come out?
So V2 came out
Last
I think,
July.
23.
Oh, okay.
2030. Okay, so
and then 20, and then V3 is like 25.
and so when you also had that map, it was broadly like globally distributed, all of your users and stuff like that. And so I guess so you started doing like the in-home, at least from what I understand about these kind of social types of businesses that are trying to, like one of your asks is like seed your city. So you live in Chicago, I'm guessing, right?
Yeah, but again, there's some travelers here that are in other cities.
At least from what I know about like all these different like social apps like Time Left, 222, Party Bowl, Third Space, like all of these different like type of social apps, like it seems like that is like all they do in a sense of like so it seems like you have an issue with like the short form content and things of that form. I feel like that is potentially a distraction, almost even like try to do things that are like not specifically to Chicago. Like you should be winning Chicago, at least like that would be my assumption. That,
Yeah.
So what does it look like in Chicago across like all of your users? Like what is that strategy there?
I don't know, run more ads, partner with venues in Chicago.
Is there any, so I guess like, so if you're like making a social app for people to be in their like particular area, right? Like, so in Chicago, I want to say like, what's happening, right? Like you're here, you can go and talk to users, you can meet these people physically, you can go to the same events as them. If you want to go to other places and like expand this like more broadly, I guess, what is the playbook for a city, for you to win like any city at all? So like to think about like right now, to win Chicago, it's like get more people on the app. I guess like what is the playbook that you're thinking? And this could be a long conversation after, but like what would be your idea there?
Well, this is one of the reasons I also ran these like Subway ads. I wanted to make sure that they worked in a like a zero context environment where people can be curious, when people leave it out,
Yeah.
you know, what people think this
Do they work?
as something. They do.
Okay,
They
yeah.
do. And so that's scalable. Like physical ads, that works. I have to do you do the event stuff. And, oh, by the way, we have a partnership with Vicinity. You can download it, be connected.
I just want to give my perspective. I run Uber, great reputation by the way. Uber is a basketball app. It originally was mapped out all basketball courts around core metropolitan cities. A lot of people to discover other courts and places, right? But to Robert's point, I think the ownership, like as much as IRL is so important, a lot of people like enjoy solitude just as much as IRL. Some people don't even get out of the house. Like getting out of the house, either alone or with people, is like the same adventure, right? So with Uber, we found that like when we're in the city in Chicago, and this is kind of my question is there an ability to kind of look at your own data and see things you've done or people you've met, how many Chicagoans or how many New York, right? How many connections in these kind of locations? Because if I don't talk to anyone and I kind of get motivated by seeing maybe 5,000 Vicinity users like traveling, I feel like, wow, maybe I could actually use this more. Kind of just being proud of myself for doing that. That like our Uber is like, not everyone's playing basketball, but they'll be hanging out at a basketball court. So there's kind of like what we found, like there has to be more ownership for their experience, and a way for them to reflect on like, okay, how much of the city have I traveled? How much am I really like ingraining myself in the city? That's kind of like our perspective. What we found, we have to rebuild something to match a little bit about what the users were at.
One of the things that I've noticed about Vicinity is that like it's entirely optional. A lot of the things you don't have to DM anyone. You can just watch the chat. That's what most people are lurkers. Most people don't. And this is what we see with any platform. Like it's only a tiny percentage of the people who are actually posting, but I do see a lot of lurkers who are just like watching the chat. And this is something that I've noticed even with my friends. My friends are like, I don't want to DM anybody, but they do like to. It's entertaining to see what people say, especially if you like. It's just kind of fun as a toy where you can just post anything and like you just get a response from people in real time. It's pretty fun.
All I have is, I think your sign process is very good. City's been at for.
Cool. Awesome. I do think, so somebody brought up a survey, and I think, people are triangulating around what they think might work, but one of the things I think you need to really understand about your audience is not just who they are and where they're from. And again, demographics, very blunt instrument in marketing, could get you in as much trouble as it can be helpful. But I think what I would consider is not just who's on my platform, but stratified by their engagement level. Because if you have, for example, people in the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and then all the lurkers are at one end of that spectrum, and all the engaged chatters are at the other, that's like really interesting information. Yeah. And so I think you owe it to, yes, you're chatting with people, but at scale, I think you need to figure out what is drawn, and like real simple, inoffensive questions like what drew you in, like how's it going, and don't worry about features. Really focus on the experience and what they're getting out of it. And that'll help you figure out, okay, well, where are other people looking for that same thing? And then how are they solving that problem? And then how do I create messaging that says this solves a problem in a better way than you're trying to solve it for yourself? And you start getting into that different levels of scale. The other thing I think I want to see if anybody, Robert has a question. Give me 1 second, Robert. Is there's a sharp feedback. He's asking for feedback on the premium model. I was wondering if you could talk a little bit more about it, because I didn't quite understand. I don't know. I didn't get all the detail of the premium. So I think that's something to explore as well. But Robert, go ahead.
Yeah, just two quick ones. One is, well, actually, I'll test this. What was the range again that you said that people could say?
It's 1 to 50 miles.
50 miles?
Yeah, because depending on if you're in a rural area, you might want to have a larger radius.
Yeah.
Is that, what is that range setting exactly? Is
It's
that
a map and it's a slider.
But like, what is that like? What does that control? Like, does that control like what you can send out? Like, are you sending out
It
like
controls the messages that you see, the messages that you're notified for,
Okay.
and also the radius of notification that you send out.
So you send to users, so I can send users from 50 miles away a message?
Yeah, it's vicinity chat. So it's like a Discord. So like if people are opted into the notifications and they also are within your radius, it's like if your circles like coincide or like have a Venn diagram, then he'll get the notification for your vicinity chat message.
So for like, if someone's in like Wisconsin, right? Like, 'cause that's like 50 miles away, right? And what I have to send, yeah, what I have to send
It's a little further away.
Yeah, is Wisconsin not 50 miles away?
No, it's
That's okay.
Well, like Indiana's like 50 miles.
Yes. All right, Indiana.
Okay.
all,
you can check the map, like you can see like,
all the technical people like, well.
But like, so could someone, like, is it because they set their radius to 50 miles? Would I be receiving people from Indiana's messages?
potentially yes.
If they're in your vicinity.
But like, would I, like, is there any part of me, like, can I reduce, like, if my radius is not 50 miles?
You won't get notifications
Okay.
from that person,
Okay.
and nor will you see their message.
Okay.
So it controls in and out. Huh?
We do smaller than a mile.
No. Triangulation, safety.
Ah,
Yeah.
see?
So one thing this made me think of, I recently downloaded Facebook, and I live out in the suburbs in Westchester. They have the page Westchesterians or something like that. And these people chatting it all. They're constantly posting 5 dogs are lost a week. That's crazy. Yeah, but have you done any, from a distribution standpoint, I'm thinking like, this would be, have you done any work with like going into a small town out in the suburbs and working with the mayor or something like that, the town saying, hey, this is a great device for safety, for something like that? Have you done anything? Because the Westchesterians, they would love this. They would post it about that.
I think it's a great idea, and I've emailed some like town councils to no success, but I think I just need to send more emails.
What about like Parks Department?
Parks Department.
Like
Yeah, I have to show up. I gotta show up. But yeah, that's a great idea. And I always thought about like partnering with governments. I think it would be a very good tool. College kids. So I have a sister who's in college right now. I asked her about this, and you know, she said that like there's already GroupMe's set up with like all the student organizations. Like, if you're gonna join your chat, like they'll have one for you. So a lot of those networks are already set up. It's really for adults. Like, and I don't want like. This is the other thing too. A lot of apps got popular because children used them first. This is how Yik Yak also imploded, which is something I've been very careful about. Like, I don't want children using Vicinity at all, obviously for danger reasons. But same with TikTok. Like, ByteDance got popular because teenage girls were dancing on Musical.ly, and then ByteDance bought TikTok, and that's how it blew up because they had a U.S. audience. But you know, doing it with adults. I also thought about going into nursing homes. Loneliness is a big problem among older people, and so that's something I've developed. Potentially, yeah. But as as we all age, we're all gonna know how to use phones.
Yeah.
Maybe not now, but perhaps later.
Yeah.
And you know, this is something that one of the reasons I got started with this was, you know, I was with my grandmother in hospice, and I just kept signing. Like, she spent a lot of time on Facebook and seeing all this stuff on Facebook, like all the political stuff, that, you know, just made her upset, and that just made me upset. Like, I just kept seeing all these like Facebook notifications come in on her phone. Like, that's what she would do with a lot of the time at the end there, and I was like, I was just really upset. I'm like, no, but we needed something better. Like, if she felt like she was more connected with people around her, I feel like that would have been more solid.
So is the goal of the app, I guess I want to make sure I'm understanding, is the goal of the app to try to keep users using it and engaging here, or is the goal to actually like encourage people to meet in real life and get out of your app?
It's both. You can do either or. You can always just like keep an eye on the feed, the live feed. So like people send messages. You can just like, it's like Twitch chat for IRL. Or if you're streaming, but like with a really popular streamer like XTC or something, when you see that like chat start to go really fast, you like get some kind of like communal sense. It's a very strange feeling. I don't know if you guys watch a lot of Twitch, but that's the kind of thing I'm like gunning for. And then of course it's everything is optional. Like it's an option. You can meet people. You can DM people, but just never meet them at all. The idea is just to like get to know perhaps your neighbors. The cool thing to me is like when I'm DMing someone on Vicinity, it's potentially that I meet them that day. You know, there's like this sense of like, this is my like these are the people that I live with. And to me that's really powerful.
Yeah, 'cause the reason why I asked that is because I think like that, you know, long term, like you may be forced to have to start thinking about that, like if you're continuing to develop like not even such features, but just like the continuation of like how to scale and grow this app in different cities or different directions, like based on, you know, how you want to get it out there, like that you may come to that point in the road. And so I was just curious if that was something you were ever thinking about, like would this be a great app for say marketing companies to buy into so they can help promote, you know, events versus hey, like my goal is really just to have like an online chat room, which really is less about events and more just about actual like community and networking within the app. Like I think at some point you might be forced to make that decision. So I was just curious about that.
Yeah, this is one of the things I work on. You know, one of the features that people always ask me about is like, hey, can we have like different categories, different channels, kind of like a subreddit thing. So when this first launched, there was just one Vicinity chat because like I needed to like centralize the activity to just keep people around. Since then, I've split it out into different categories. And one of the categories I thought about was just like having an ads category. So people can just like go see the ads, and then you can just like pay maybe like $1 to like send a message saying like this is happening, and it just stays there. And so that channel would be like less frequent, but I don't know. People still read the ad section in the newspaper. You know?
Yeah.
It's more of an optional thing, which I like more when it comes to ads. Like, oh, I go to the ad section. I want to see what people are like paying to see. Instead of having it interspersed in the feed.
Well, listen, thank you, Quinn. We got a little tumbler for you, and then we're going to call you up for pictures. But I did have, thank you so much. You can sit down and relax. Yeah, no, go ahead. Make yourself comfortable. I did want to put this on the screen. Slideshow. So please, if you haven't already, take out your smartphones and scan our QR code. Just let us know you came. It's really, you know, again, it's a nonprofit organization. They're not going to try to sell you anything, but it's really important they understand that the volume that they get and the number of people that attend the 1MC events. But this is what we do every week. We bring 2 people up. I know we had 1. This was an exception, but this is the type of dialogue that we generate, and hopefully you guys had a good time. We're going to make another pot of coffee. You guys can stick around and co-work for the day if you'd like. You can use one of the pods for a phone call. You can use their Wi-Fi. The SSID and the password is on the board behind you. But if I could call the organizers up for some pictures. And Quinn, guys, thanks so much. Have a great week. Yeah, I didn't see anybody who had been here every single week. Except maybe. Maybe.
Once we have the data,
We'll have the data then.
And then we'll just do it next week. Yeah, next week we can say last month.
Yeah. And if it's just one, we'll just give it one.
Oh, oh.
oh, that's fine.
You think you can do it against Boston?
But what?
You think they can do it against
Yeah,
Boston?
I think so. I think they got an extra rest day, and they're playing like somebody who squeaked by, not somebody who like just absolutely crushed the group. But the next one, I think this is their last game. I think this is their second. Like, they have one more game after this, and then they get knocked out, and we pat ourselves in the back for how far the U.S. got and how well they